probably include, let's say roughly maybe about somewhere in here that there would be severe thunderstorm warning at least because of that storm and the history of that. Whether it's a tornado warning or not, or a severe thunderstorm warning, at least they're going to be coming up with something here as the storm starts to move out past that warned area, and they're going to need to issue a severe thunderstorm warning at some point in that location. So we've got this thunderstorm here. It looks like it's weakened just a little bit as it approaches Reedland. Could still have the possibility of a severe thunderstorm or large hail. What did I just say? I was talking about the new warning that was going to come out pretty shortly in that area. There we go. There's the new severe thunderstorm warning. Zoom in here a little bit tighter, get some information on that. Butler County, Grundy County, Hardin County, and the northwestern parts of Tama County. Again, we talked about how the possibility of this. This is 2-inch diameter size hail. So now we're talking, again, this is golf ball to tennis ball size hail. Any of these storms have the potential of producing some very large hail with this, and winds up around 60 miles per hour. But notice there's no threat for a tornado at this point mentioned in this warning that I could see. It does include the 2-inch diameter size hail in that, and that is this storm right here. That is the one that we just gave you information saying that there probably will be a warning that comes out here pretty shortly, and there is that warning. And that movement on that storm, let's see, is that, yeah, that one here is going to be moving southeast at 30 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on that. And we'll put this here, and I'll put the track on this. I'm going to take this past this just so I get more locations. Holland, 6:37, any minute now. Grundy Center, this will be at 6:45. Morrison at 6:52. Gladbrook Rhinebeck High School at 7 o'clock. Gladbrook at 7:11. Union Grove State Park, that'll be at 7:21. And in Traer at 7:23. Again, that is past the warning area. But if the storm does hold together, you do have that time there, roughly about a half hour or about an hour before it gets to the Traer area. So we have this one thunderstorm that is a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is a monster of a storm, and it does have a lot of lightning in there. This continues to the northeast, and this storm here also has had a history of producing some large hail, anywhere from golf ball to tennis ball size, from the Reedland area up towards Tripola, and that is a tornado warning that is in effect until 7 o'clock. So we will continue to cover this with the tornado warning remaining in effect. This tornado warning for this location is until 6:45. That potential is still there, but I think as it moves farther to the south and east, we haven't seen a whole lot out of this that would indicate that it would be tornadic still, but some very strong wind, yes. Large hail, yes. Heavy rain, yes. Vivid lightning, yes. The tornado threat, again, may be on the lower side, which is what we're expecting, but the tornado threat is not zero, but it is low out of this. So we'll look over in this storm here. Again, this doesn't show a whole lot when it comes to signs that there would be a tornado in there. But looking at the radar, the thunderstorm does have a good signature showing large hail around the Tripola area. So if you're in Sumner, maybe even if in Sumner, you're outside that warning area along Highway 93, that storm does extend farther to the north. So there may be some hail up in that area as well, up here just west of Sumner along Highway 93. So you may not be in the warned area, but there may be a possibility of some hail up in here as well. But the core of this between Tripola and Reedland now as it moves on towards the east. We've got Danny, who's pulled a long shift here. He's here this morning and noon, is back again with some information about that storm.
Yeah, so you just saw that blinking pop up. So whenever we see that blinking, there's new information coming in, whether that's either a continuation or they're going to let it expire, let it cancel, whatever. So this is a continuation of that. So again, large hail up to potentially golf ball size or a little bit bigger. You can see that dark red area, even near the Tripoli area, as Mark was mentioning. That's where we're going to see the potential for that large hail. And again, it's not moving very fast. So that heavy rain that's going to continue to move through the area, it can kind of build up very quickly. You can see those reds and pinks. Again, we could see a very heavy rain here in just over the matter of minutes. So again, with this update, they still have the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as the potential for, again, golf ball plus size hail. So I want to check, again, that tornado warning still is in effect until 7. I want to see if there's any kind of indication, at least, that shows up on radar. Is that still a thing? Because we like to look at velocity and just kind of what does that velocity look like? And, is there any indication that maybe there's a little bit? So, again, not a whole lot. We are in a tough spot here because we're between radars, between La Crosse, Des Moines, and Davenport. So you're seeing this purple show up. That usually means it's out of range. But even just looking at this, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot, which, again, is good news for us. But, again, we'll continue to monitor that as it moves off to the south and to the east. And this one is moving at roughly about 30 miles per hour. So let's go back to the radar here and just kind of show you a whole lot of lightning in this area, in the Reedland area, moving off to the southeast. So we'll put another track on this here, just kind of show you extending where this is going. And as we'll continue throughout this evening, we're going to see the potential of more development of showers and storms along basically Highway 20 and continue to move south and east. There's a lot of moisture to work with this storm, as you could feel out there. I mean, dew points are in the mid to upper 70s, close to 80 in some areas, maybe hitting 80 in some areas. These are very, very a lot of fuel for these storms. So again, let's put this track around, and I'm going to include kind of past even the box, because we could see a potential for some bigger, maybe a little bit potential bigger size hail, as well as again potential of heavy rain. So we'll go a little bit outside the box, but. And Wapsie Valley High School in about 6 minutes here in that area. West Bentley Park, 6:50. Oldwine at 7:03. Platt Park about a minute after that. Jackway, Forest County Park at 7:22. So that is that current, again, the tornado warning. So, of course, get inside an interior room, lowest level of any building you're in. Stay away from windows, obviously. But right now, again, this tornado warning, it's radar indicated. This one is not has not been confirmed, but does have a history of producing some larger size hail. So let's zoom out here a little bit just to kind of show you the big picture of what's going on here. So we still have those 2 current warnings, one right now, and I'll take the lightning off because that is kind of a lot to see. We know it's a lot of lightning being produced out of this. So these are the 2 current warnings right now. The one cell there northeast of Waterloo, east of Waverly, and then the second one there in northwest Grundy County, kind of going across the area. And we'll see, kind of put a loop on this, and these storms basically kind of flared up. And you can see it's kind of along this line. There's a frontal boundary here that these storms are interacting with. You can see it kind of forming along this line. If we zoom out even a little bit farther, you can see that extends near towards the Omaha area. So I expect we'll see either more development of this, and as the night progresses, as this becomes maybe more of an organized system, we'll see the potential of this maybe evolving more into a wind threat. Obviously, winds are still going to be strong. We could see close to 60 miles per hour. However, as it becomes more organized, then that wind might pick up. We'll still see the potential for large hail, maybe a tornado or 2, but then that wind could really be a threat for us here. So this will continue to move off to the southeast, and I know a lot of our southern areas, again, we've got Ragbri down there in Coralville, and we have some of our KWWL crew down there. Again, we want to make sure you guys are being safe down there, as this will continue to move. And again, this is kind of showing the satellite here. Mark, I don't know if you want to add anything on this.
You notice it's in Coralville, and you got all these thousands of people at Ragbri. It's sunny down here in Iowa City. Right. In Coralville area in Johnson County. So it's the sunshine, it's the heat, humidity is still down there. I know they're watching these storms very carefully to see if that's going be heading in that direction, because there are a lot of people in tents and not very safe places here. So watching these storms very carefully as they slowly drift southward. We're still several hours away if they are going to be impacted by that, but something we will continue to monitor as we head through the next few hours, because we do have a watch that is in effect for the area. This severe thunderstorm watch includes Johnson County and areas north for pretty much our entire coverage area, right. Except for Washington and Keokuk County. But the threat for large hail and damaging wind will continue here through at least 10 o'clock, and I think after the 10 o'clock hour, things should start to quiet down just a little bit.
Right, and even if that's, again, we still have so much moisture to work with, even after that sun sets, usually, that's around that time when things start to diminish a little bit. I think we'll still see it hang on, but as Mark mentioned, I think after 10 o'clock, when that frontal boundary starts to move a little bit farther southeast, again, that's where kind of all the development is right now, and we're seeing those storms slowly move off to the southeast. So once 10 o'clock hits, it'll still be there. We'll still have that chance, obviously, but I do think things will kind of at least progress to the southeast, and hopefully things will diminish. We're taking a look at some of the storm reports here, so we'll see. I think there was confirmed tornadoes in the Iowa Falls area, so there was a funnel cloud. This was via social media. This was at 5:25 in Franklin County. I'll look at another report here. That is a tornado, a weak tornado on the ground with lofted debris visible. That's at 5:46 in Popejoy there. And let's see the near the Iowa Falls area. It just says tornado continues. So again, a confirmed tornado near the Iowa Falls area around 6 o'clock. Also hail, 1.5-inch size hail. I believe that is ping pong ball size hail. It's 6:07. Yeah, ping pong ball size hail, 6:07 in Geneva. So that was about a half hour ago there. And now let's head over to the east of Waverly, near the Reedland area. We did see reports of some large hail there as well. And that's that baseball-size hail. So this storm is capable of producing baseball-size hail, 2.75 inches there. That was about 15 minutes ago. And then a second report here of a funnel cloud. This was reported north of Highway 3 and east of Highway 63 near the Denver area in Bremer County. This was about at 6:05. So that was another funnel report. And then another hail report. This is $half size hail, so a little bit bigger than quarter, obviously, near the Reedland area. This was about 20 minutes ago at 6:20. And then I think another funnel cloud in the Reedland area north of the Denver area there, 6:17. So that's why the tornado warning, I think, is still in effect. We might still have some funnels around that might potentially quickly reach the ground, and that's the potential. And we saw debris lifted in that southwestern storm now heading towards Grundy Center. So there is that potential here. This is a live look, I believe, over Waverly. So you can see that massive storm system there with the clouds. Is some clearing on the backside of that, so some clearing is on the horizon, but we still have a little ways to go with these storms, and a little bit actually development on the backside as well. So again, I think just kind of looking at this, again, just a lot of lightning. I mean, this is incredible. You're seeing all those white lightning bolts show up on the radar. We'll kind of take a little bit of a zoom here. Look at that, 815 strikes, and that's just estimates, and that's not even including north there in northern Bremer County.
Yeah, extend that.
So let's see. I'm curious to see. Again, these are all kind of estimates, but nearly a little over 917 strikes there with this. So even though maybe severe weather might not be in your area with the box, there still is a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain, and then of course that potential for large hail and damaging wind gusts. Let's take a look at that southwestern storm here. So let's see. We still have the tornado warning. No new updates as far as I'm aware with that. Still potential, possibly golf ball size hail, a little bit bigger. And we'll see. Again, we'll see if there's any kind of reports of this. But I do want to check the velocity. And we check this velocity. We look for a couplet, it's called, and you can sometimes pick up where maybe that rotation might be. So the good news is with this, again, it's not firing off on radar, which is good, or velocity. So it looks like potentially, if we were to see anything, it might be in this area, northeast of the Eldora area. Again, it's not super, it's not super out there, which is good. It is weakening slightly, at least the tornadoes. But we are still, again, potentially watching the potential there for a little bit of maybe a funnel cloud still. But again, I don't think we've had any new reports of any tornadoes in that area. But let's put a track, again, on this, because, again, that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, I believe, until 7:15 for Butler County, Grundy County, Hardin County, and Tama County. So let's go back to the radar. Again, this has had the history of producing some funnel clouds with this storm, as well as some, I believe, near golf ball size hail. So we'll put a track on this entire complex, but you can see, if I take off the lightning here, the bulk of the hail. You can kind of see where the pinks are in there, just northwest of Grundy Center. If we zoom in a little bit, right over the Wellsburg area right now, and it's moving southeast. So if you're in the Grundy Center area, please again take shelter, because that's where the brunt of this hail could be, moving off to the south-southeast. I believe this is around 30 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on this and kind of extend it a little bit. I'll just kind of show you where this thing will be headed. So we'll put a track on this here. Move to the southeast around 30 miles per hour. So in Conrad Golf Course, in about 5 minutes here, 6:48, Ladbroke, Rhinebeck High School around 7. Union Grove State Park, 7:10. Traer at 7:21. Cloutier, 7:38. And then near the Red Fox Wildlife area there in northern Benton County at 7:56.
Now, speaking of that storm, let's go over to Max 2, and you'll be able to see this is a large storm. Not only is it wide in aerial coverage, it is also very tall. This is a three-dimensional look at the storm, and you can see that this storm goes all the way as high as almost 60,000 feet in the air. That this storm is located. And you can see the core of that pretty large as well. So you've got hail that could be falling down from that height all the way down to the ground, and the larger that hail is, faster that's going to come racing down to the ground. So this storm is quite large in height as well. So if we can go back to 1, you could see how it looks on the radar there with the core of that storm moving on through. Eventually I want to get to the other one as well. I want to do the slice through that one as well, but I'll get to that here in a second.
Yeah, I believe we got new updates on the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to check this here. I just want to make sure my information's correct. I saw it blinking, so whenever we see it blinking, that means new information's coming in, whether, again, that's an extension or we see a potential of maybe new reports. So let's see if there's anything new that has popped in with this currently warned storm in the Butler County and Grundy County area, and heading to the southeast, into the Traer area, Conrad Golf Course area here. So it's just a continuation of severe thunderstorm warning. So it looks like the threats still remain the same. Potential for golf ball size hail, even a little bit bigger than that. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and still moving off to the southeast, I believe, around 30 miles per hour. So again, as always, make sure to go to the lowest floor of your building. Stay in an interior room. Stay away from windows, obviously. So we'll take this off here and again kind of look at bigger picture as we're seeing. It's a little bit of storm. So even though this first line is kind of out of the way, we are seeing a little bit of development on the backside. So you see kind of the Mason City area. Again, anything that develops behind it, I don't think it's going to be as strong. It's the front line here is going to use up most of that energy, but there's a lot of energy with it. When you went outside, it almost felt like storms, if that makes sense. It just felt very, very soupy. You can almost swim in the moisture we had. So these storms had a lot of energy to work with, and that sunshine, unfortunately, kind of helped fuel these, because we were talking about earlier, that cap, that warm energy above, that elevation of warm air sometimes can prevent storms from brewing. However, if there's a weak enough cap, it can kind of let things stew a little bit, and then once that cap does break, things fire off like they just did here a couple hours ago. So you can see this line, again, extending through much of the state here into Wisconsin, in the Platteville area there, severe thunderstorm warning there in Wisconsin. And it looks like, okay, so the tornado warning was allowed to discontinue, so now it is only severe thunderstorm warning, so that's good news there. But obviously still the threat pretty considerable with that large hail.
I do want to show you that three-dimensional look on the other storm. This one is in Black Hawk and Bremer County. It's not as tall and not as intense as that other one farther to the south and west, but it still gets up there around 50,000 feet. Right. Could be as high as 60,000 feet tops on this thunderstorm. So back to 1, and you'll see that there's just the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect. No longer any tornado warnings. With that, as we continue to monitor this situation, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until midnight tonight. So any of these thunderstorms do have the possibility of producing some large hail and some damaging wind at any point. And again, here's the bigger picture showing you where the thunderstorms are. Outside of where the storms are around Highway 20 northward, it is sunny, it is hot, it is humid, and pretty much unbearable for many people. So the watch will continue here until midnight for much of the region. And again, thunderstorms will continue with these 2 warnings that remain in effect. This one is until 7 o'clock, and this severe thunderstorm warning is until 7:15 with the large hail and some damaging wind. So I think with that, because there's severe thunderstorm warnings, the tornado threat is not there at this point, but we'll continue to monitor the situation as we head through the evening hours. If we have additional information or additional warnings, we'll send you back to regular scheduled programming.